Nononoke Fred! Hello!
And welcome to the next exciting episode. Oh my word.
Okay,
It
I thought you were
feels
gonna
like it's
say
been
Nononoke
like,
and as well. Okay, do that again, but say Nononoke of Nononoke, okay?
no, no, okay.
Oh, good, I wasn't ready for that. You were supposed to. Hi!
Welcome. You know, it feels like it's been like 4 months since the last Nononoke.
Well, at least it wasn't 5 months.
At least it wasn't 5. I thought it was 5 originally. I changed it by checking in the YouTube channel. This is
There's
how it
dust
goes.
in the air, but I really love their hats. Why does everyone have a hat right now?
Uh, you've got about as good as an idea as I do.
Oh, because we predicted the One Piece.
We predicted the One Piece.
We predicted the One Piece.
What that fully means, I don't think we fully grasp, but we
The One
predicted the
Piece was
one.
Kensuke the entire time.
Oh, she was the treasure that we found along the way. She's still crying tears of blood, though.
I'm doing good,
Like,
by the way, Fred. I'm so excited for this. TJ is doing multitasking as we get started.
yeah, it's gonna be a hospital of adventure.
A girl hospital of adventure because we're gonna be in pain. Wait,
You're
oh
not
right,
in a coma.
didn't Kitsuki wake up at some point?
Yeah, Kintsugi totally woke up at some point. Stop trying to be a, a coma patient. The self-inflicted harm is bad for you. We want Kintsugi to awaken. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you're only gonna pop up when you're needed. Well, okay, I see how it is. You tricked us. You bamboozled us. Oh my godness.
Yeah, so the inevitable Tim awakening is going to be a dramatic plot reveal.
Oh yeah, there's definitely not a TJ here. Are you okay? I mean, no, don't worry about it.
You know, this is a question that's it's a good question. We should probably have a fairly decent sized recap
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is
because
season 2 after all, the last episode. Oh, I should have called it the last episode.
today's just going to be a full on recap. Oh my word. Like because
That
it's the point five. So like you know how they sometimes break seasons up into like the point five.
no, it's really just a continuation of season 1, but they call it a season 2 when it's not.
Yeah, we're still going on the same. Or no, it's a different arc.
It's a different arc, but it's still like released at the same time, and like it's like a month later instead of 1 month. It's like 4 months instead of like the traditional like year or so.
Mm-hmm.
Point
Right.
be- being, oh my goodness, I get to like draw stuff if you're doing the recap.
Okay, let's get an actual spot for you to draw stuff.
I think it's just down. No, left, right, down.
There is. We'll make a spot. Marluxia, move.
Aw, thank you for the head pats.
Donnie Viard, you can move. Noboru turned into a goblin.
we'll,
I
we'll do
love
it
you.
next. We'll yeah, we'll do it there. Why are you selecting Nima? Nima's a part of our crew. That's me. Okay, I'm crazy. I'm dumb.
I didn't select Nemo.
Don't worry about it. I'm just going crazy. I'm going mad.
Miad?
Mad, yeah.
Miadima? Alright, so there's a little bit of a spot for you. Nima can just
Perfect.
come here. Perfect. Perfectamundo. She is a cat. Pokemon trainer. Oh, well, I ruined it.
You ruined it? Oh no, I'm not even looking at what you ruined.
The shadows just have enlarged. Alright. Because I also need the recap.
Me too, me too.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Been a
So
while.
we'll recap what's happened in the last 21 episodes. Quickly.
Yes, 21 episodes.
Of season 6.
Been about quite a while.
The server just gave me the message. Really, you don't know what the hell's happening in the entire campaign? Nice. I guess that's it. Welcome to Becky Durai, located in the Great Empire. Becky Durai exists on one of the southmost portions of the Great Empire, and is the single smallest province of any others. It has always been the backwater of the Great Empire. He's never seen show much interest many times within it. And the rest of the Empire never saw much value in it either. That was until about 100 years ago. Little less. When the armies of the Great Empire were shocked to find Becky Durai had amassed a vast military presence with the introduction of firearms, ranged weapons that could cause widespread damage. Becky Durai both became the envy and the fear of those around it. On the verge that there may be another civil war, Becky Durai was standing as one of the most prominent and most important allies to win over. However, Becky Durai was not waiting for a civil war. Under the command of General Suzuki and High Priestess Yuha, Becky Durai was militarized by force in an attempt to fight against the very great Emperor himself. Civil war or not. However, due to political unrest within Becky Durai, the general and the high priestess were taken out of power. Becky Durai was demilitarized, and firearms were universally banned. Besides, anyone either given direct permission from the great emperor himself, or those of adequate faith. During this time, a miraculous event, the manifestation of an elder god known as the God of Eternal Service, had happened. It had inspired and set fear into many. But just as soon as it manifested, it was made dormant. The charge being that as that god was partially to blame for the recent uprising, yet to be exiled. Unable to muster enough power, the god made recluse with members of an organization called the Dark, where it would rest for many years to come. At the same time, the pre-established tri-royal system, which had recently become four: a king, a prime minister, a high priestess, and a general, was disbanded in favor for one singular leader. That would, annually, be chosen by the great emperor himself. An act of control. Whoever would lead Beki Darai would be directly under the thumb of the great emperor himself. Without the notion of royalty, without the notion of one of the key aspects of what made Beki Darai for the last couple hundred years, Beki Darai and the rest of the great empire stagnated. But a royal was born, whether the great emperor dictated it or not, each generation. And soon enough, a small pair of royals meet their world. The one in question and of mention was a boy named Roman. A meek, yet rather flighty boy. One who wanted to do good. Bright brown hair, charismatic demeanor, often described as youthfully naive. He wanted to lead Beki Darai, but not as Beki Darai was. Under what seemed to be either rebellious or simply not thought through means. That boy seeked out the darkness for aid. But he was not the only one who ended up seeking out the darkness for aid. A fox, or a kitsune-blooded lady, one whose own name and visage was nothing more than a distant memory, fabricated in time. Nina had also sought refuge in the darkness, under the promise that she could figure out the names of her parents, those in which she constantly forgot. Little known to her, that her memory was sealed away as a curse from the great emperor himself, and perhaps further. A curse put upon anyone who would try and disrupt the balance of what the great emperor had put in place. Her curse stole from her her memories, and thus her memories became a dependency for her. As an operative, she trained, eventually becoming the ward to the young, hopeful prince. But she was not entirely alone. In the same notion, she had made many allies and friends. And while their relationship was ill-defined, Nina made an ally with a young monk named Odamu Ryu, a spear wielder, a master prodigy in his time who trained directly under Budatsu, Budatsu being a retainer from the Age of War, with an aptitude to cooking extremely good food, and the understood promise that she would become his student, and they would part ways for many years. Nina would also make benefit to a wayward spirit, a spirit of seasonal balance, by the name of Kanshi, one who changed as the weather and time did. Over the span, all three of them had kindled a form of friendship. Times would not stay so stagnant for that long. With the introduction of demons, the three would journey together once again, traveling the lands and saving a prior retainer by the name of Retka, who had been watching the demons' forces gather in the far mountain regions. They would uncover a sinister plot from an entity simply called the Warlock, someone who was embellishing with demons and seemed to have means of their own, a creature from another world. Taking the trip north, they met in the military capital of Fu, with the four pillars, notably the most important being a gentleman by the name of Ragoff. To understand more about Becky Durai, as they had lived and leaded sheltered lives. All the while, their relationship strained. Roman being revealed as public enemy number one to his dispatch into the darkness, a labeled terrorist organization, came into contact with Ragoff, who discovered his identity. Through some miracle of conversation, Odamu Ryu would end up learning of Ragoff's neutral nature, to expend one good action for every bad action and vice versa, and inadvertently tempt him to later ally with the darkness against a common enemy. While the group remained separated, they traveled on many more adventures, helping those around. Roman, taking in the experience and teachings of not only Odamu Ryu, but his close friend Gakuatsu. During a expedition, Odamu Ryu's soul would become tainted by a form of rust, and the group would head up north to find a blacksmith in the land of Kiona. Kamshi would also be kidnapped by unknown forces, drawing a wedge between the groups even further. For Odamu Ryu, Nina, and Roman, their relationship tensed as they reached Maldai, one of the states of Ekidrai. They started to question more not only each other, but what they were doing in the safety of Roman. Roman, who wanted to continue further, and Nina, who believed Odamu was starting to become a bad influence, taking a motherly role. Nina had also discovered a truth about her childhood. In Toya, a priest revealed that she had been brought here many years ago. Now, not only that, a chance instance with Sona, another royal hell-bent on finding Roman, and the previous royal in which Nina had served in her past life. A trauma, a deep trauma, one she tried to run from. In Tranba, they had discovered the truth of vampire-like spawn who would predate the night in turn. Tranba used to be a psionic threshold for all those with powers that were unexplained. And these creatures, these vampires, they were starting to threaten and grow greater and greater. With a quick diversion to Kiona and the arrival of a new, yet slightly interesting group of individuals called the Destructionists and the Preservationists. Odamu Ryu managed to fall in what he could only describe as in love. With no knowledge of the vampires and a tricky trap being revealed, Odamu and Nina headed back to Tranba, only to find that Roman and Gakuatsu were no longer safe. Entering in to the vampire stronghold, a tragic reveal that Sona had become and was, in many ways, a prime vampire suspect. Her ability to read minds and her servant, they had both been turned into horrible beasts. The great fight and the reunited force of Kanji. Sona was defeated, but Nina could no longer look towards Kanji. Deep feelings stirred within her as a chaotic mess. She disbanded against Odamu, who fought back, and the rift between them was torn. Nina headed to the north. Odamu, Kanji, Brian. They headed after both Nina and Roman. Odamu encountering the mysterious frost fire. A member of the Destructionists. Not correct, she's actually Preservation Society.
Gasp.
I'm gonna remember that. During a heated confrontation, Odamu would lose his life. Nina would lose her life. The party fractured. But that was not the end of things. Through a chance encounter with a simulacrum and the survival of Rome, Nina was able to become reincarnated into a new form. A being much larger than her original, covered in stone and almost these engravings that ran across her body. A creature that no one in the whole of Bakudera had ever seen. Goliath. A Goliath who took a glimpse to a creature called a Reaper. She had come back from the dead. And her own mind was her enemy. Reuniting back in the place where it always began, Nononoke. And with a new friend, nonetheless. In the forms of an ancient god named Nima, reverted to that of a mortal. Kamji, Kintsugi, and Nima would form a new party. Roman, after experiencing everything he did, witnessing the death of his own sister, finally hold forth the courage, and despite his inability to wield a weapon, would become the darkness's paragon. Not their leader, but simply someone who would channel and contest for the throne of Bakudera. With the great emperor himself coming down to assign one of the royals, and there only being 3, his odds were better than they've ever been. But at what cost? We're almost done. We're almost done. But I need to take a drink. I never thought recapping all of season 6 was going. Season 6 was going to be a lot of words.
It's hard to know when what you're gonna get when you ask for the server for a recap. Not what I expected, but oh well.
You get what you get. What is a Roman? I don't know. A long introduction to the Darkness headquarters, and with Nina, now named Kintsugi, horribly injured. The foreign god Nima traveled her way down into the entrance of Goes. The god of eternal service had never truly really manifested anywhere. And to
Wait, she's
Nima,
seen Ghosts by now? I thought she didn't see him yet.
Nima has seen Goes, yes.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Thank you for the recap.
Overwhelmed by the sight and learning that the god of eternal service needs sacrifice in order to be brought enough to power, they leave the chosen spear broken of Ryu the one that Gakuatsu made, in order to be as an offering, and to lay safe here, knowing that it will not be enough to wake the great god. Nima attempted to contact nature in order to soothe him through her own resources, taking her herbalism kit and also presenting it as a sacrifice, claiming that the garden is within her heart. You can only hope that that will be enough to keep him lasting a little more. In this time, mention of the All-Father from Kamshi, a being who stunted and actively worked against the god of eternal service, was brought up. And Nima could not help but feeling guilty. Her chance confrontation with death, wearing the face of former friend Miles, had shaken her to the core. She felt confident, like she could do something about it, though. Nima simply says goodbye to her father as they leave. What kind of life had she lived? Kensugi, however, absolutely torn from her form, was trying to recompose. The gentleman by the name of Retka was not helping. All that time ago, they had saved Retka from the clutches of demonkind. And somehow that made Kintsugi realize that all she's really ever done is run away from people in her life. She's run away from Tomza. Run away from everything. The moment things get hard, the moment she doesn't want to deal with them, or the moment that she thinks she's doing the right thing, she just runs. Cold. Not even Leon. The way that she's going now. She wonders whether or not she's going to have anyone in her life when her time to die truly does come. Even Varsuvius had left her. For this chance, Nemo was invited to the war room, and impressed about how the age was much higher for those who were running the darkness. The council consisted of Barone, who was acting head, alongside a missing one that had been laid ill, Donavyard, the man coated in metal and which she confused as Nameless when she first came. Marlucia, a monk acting as a monastery leader. Roman, the young boy turned figurehead. Ragoff, a traitor to the military but not to the people. And Nobaru, a warped and crippled individual, mainly made of bones and comprised of sickles. Barone, introducing the group as its hosting leader, talks to the people present while Nima tells of her story. That she's shocked and even confused. This place doesn't have a king, high priestess, or general. about how Wayne and how its aspects live in the people, about the great ancestor Rahaim, retainer to the king Khaldun, that the god of eternal service and the god of eternal rest, what they stand for and what they stood for. Nima mentioned a civil war and a people called the Yuan Ti, waking up the apocalypse, everything she knew, the apocalypse beasts, the fact that she herself in many ways was sent forward. She heard the calling within the world. She became something different. She made death. Everything was put on the table. And upon hearing that only 2 of these council people even worship/revere the god of eternal service, saddened and slightly enraged her. She didn't feel like they were listening. Miles' death only wanted to cause her pain. She wanted the people to worship the god of eternal service, and she didn't even know if it was selfish or not. Kensuke, being torn over of the feelings of love, confused this as a boyfriend, self-projecting her own if she was there. But Nino mentions that she won. With the understanding that the god of eternal service needs sacrifice, Kanchi suggests heading through the tower system to Duka, a place that has been corrupted by an ogre god, a demon posing as a warlord in the area. One well known, but not acted on quite yet. Only the darkness resources have figured it out. And perhaps, should they take everything by force there, they are able to gain enough sacrifices in order to make a substantial clause. All the while, the slain Odamu Ryu's spirit tethers on to a young, yet chipper boy, aspiring to be a soldier many, many miles away. Alright, we're done recapping.
Woo! Also, we had the idea
need
of,
the
like,
break after that?
sacrificing your old retainer for power as well.
Yeah, you guys go. I'm gonna go have a sandwich.
Okay, I'll go first. Coma.
You're out of coma! We didn't even get that in the recap!
Sandwich. No, I just needed a glass of water. My word. So yeah, that's the recap of the entire campaign so far.
We did all that, huh? Wow.
To make it even quicker, 3 of us out in the campaign, 1.5 of us came back.
We did a lot.
Okay. Here's
you
the
muted,
summary.
Lulu?
3 of us set out on campaign. 1.5 of us came back. And then I got a new character who was like a druidy priestess lady.
I take that as a probably.
I really love the picture I got for Nima
You know-
this time round. That is like a really chiseled, just like Nima.
But one day,
Kensuke face.
assuming we're good enough and have enough time, we'll make a flip book or just like a shorthand explanation. Make it like an ancient storybook, like the ones that are like 2 sentences at most per page with like a picture.
As an
No, usually
action, I
I'd
would like to
save
make
these. I'm just going to delete most
caveman
of this.
drawings explaining all of this in the darkness space.
The darkness was just
Joking.
like a shadow of Ragoth that I turned
Remember the time
of
that
a pole.
Gakuatsu was completely murked off screen.
Oh, don't worry. I just
I'm
showed it in
sad that there
pictogram.
wasn't more information about Gakuatsu getting completely murked off screen. That was sad.
No,
Word.
he's right there. He's in the RIP
Odamu had to
section.
encounter Gakuatsu before he went to deal with Frostfire because Gakuatsu had been turned into was turning into a vampire.
I was
Oh,
I was muted on Discord to not stream. I depicted the Gakuratsu dying.
Bug monster. Bug monster.
Thank you, Digimonkeying, for the
We
follow.
find
Okay, but like,
ourselves
see down there,
alone.
I recorded him right under the RP.
Okay, I couldn't watch when I was. I'll have to watch later.
They're gonna be deleting. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, well, I'll watch the stream later to witness it.
Wait, is it drawn in the roll 20?
Oh yeah. The one I did for Kinsuki is amazing. Kinsuki has a changeable face, except now it's not changeable. Kinsuki's the one with like the chiseled jawline, because they're
Is this on roll 20?
yeah, to the right of us. I deleted most of it. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
God.
Do you see
I
it?
can't. No, I only see the King of Pirates.
To the right of the King of Pirates,
Mm-hmm.
where you'll see like a stick figure holding a sword saying God.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. And I
Uh,
see R.I.P. Oh.
Yeah. That was how I depicted people dying when they weren't mentioned they died.
Oh.
Alright, goodbye.
Yeah, we also missed out on the fact of, you know what, we did. The fact that we even brought up Retka at all is interesting. We forgot about Yukino, and we forgot about whatever.
Yeah, we were gonna sacrifice Yukino for the God of Eternal Service's power.
Yeah, there was a thought to sacrifice Yukino for the God of Eternal Service.
But he's
I
my
still want to do
Uber.
that. I still want to sacrifice your old character's retainer for this. It sounds like the
Yeah.
perfect chance.
But that was going to be a later thing.
Yeah, it is a later thing, but I still wanna.
Sacrifice requires consent, and he started the the vampire apocalypse. So.
I feel like I need to talk to him and be like, hey, not right now, but later, you cool? You chill to just like stab yourself in the arm? Are you good to just like, die later?
But that's going to be a later conversation.
Yeah. Let's bring them all into I love that you can like your drawings. Oh God, no! Control Z. Okay.
Or
I
Roman's
forgot.
lost
I have to hold down Alt.
Yeah, I lost Roman's hair. I'm sorry.
It's been so long that when I looked at my character sheet, I was like, "What? We're level 6?"
Wait, we're level. Oh wait, no, I'm like level 2 or something because I had to bring my new character.
Oh, right.
Who was my old character? Why does he have orange hair covered over his brown hair?
I don't know.
That's
Oh,
a
right.
good
He has an eye
question.
patch now, right? He's missing an eye now, right? Is that a thing?
The eye makes sense,
Yeah, he is totally missing an eye right now.
Right.
but why did I put orange hair on him?
Because he's a Roman, and everyone named Roman has orange hair.
Oh, okay. I'm going to delete that. Okay. Any
Alright.
objections?
I don't object.
I'm gonna. Oh, okay, never mind.
I brought back.
I was gonna say I object just to be different, but that's not important. I mean,
Okay, well,
what? I mean, to be fair, like Nemo's not really wearing a top hat and mustache, and Kamchi's not really wearing Ash Ketchum's outfit, and I'm not really the king of pirates, so why should he be left out? You know?
okay, fine, I'll keep it. Listen,
Actually,
it's to show that Nima's from a high-class establishment. There's a clearly the server says Kinsuki was a protagonist because it followed Kinsuki's story. So
I think
you're
it's because he's
Luffy.
one of the only ones who are alive still.
Oh.
Kamchi's gonna slaughter them all, anyone who's imbalanced. So she's Ash Ketchum.
I want to kill the very best, like no one ever did. Bark, bark, bark.
Okay, Susan.
Uh,
Oh, you're level 5, I'm level 2, oh no.
I thought we were level 5, but we're level 6.
You're level 6, I'm level 2!
But you also have god powers.
No, I don't, I lost those! My god powers ain't no more, that was the whole plot point! I don't have god powers! I have like... Mana Lifebringer! I have mana instead of spell slots.
no, sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know?
I don't care, I'm a healer. I don't need to have HP or abilities. I just need a heal.
Oh yeah, we gotta make sure if we're going to, I don't know how much time, if we're going right into it, if we're doing any time skip stuff, but
I think we can get right into it.
okay.
I don't know, wait, what, did you want to do something?
No, I was just gonna mention, like, we gotta make sure, I just remembered we have crazy energy synergy, so I will just passively make sure at the end of the day I'm giving Kamchi a healthy amount of mana, so that we're all
I
like,
will not let you because you're still recovering.
I mean, like, down the line, you know what I mean.
Once you recover, I'll accept it. But right now, no.
Okay, I'll bring it
I'm
on.
looking after you, okay?
Thank you, I really appreciate that. But also power gaming.
I would appreciate 46 mana, please.
Okay, we survived it once. They can do it again. It's fine.
Yeah, just push yourself even harder, and then you'll be able to endure more.
Yeah, all this
Do
training.
it. If we do it in the presence of the simulacrum, we'll be fine.
Look at Kinsuki.
Yeah, I'm trying to re-roll the RNG for
Look at
reincarnate.
Kinsuki and see how her eyes are bleeding in this picture.
That's called Princess Mononoke. It's a look, okay?
A look of dying?
It's called red lines underneath your eyes.
Yeah, it's not blood, it's fashion choice.
It's giving wolf princess.
It's death.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, Alan. We're back in Nononoke. It's been a couple months.
Alan,
Hello, Alan.
the brain cell.
Listen, we this was 4 months ago. We predicted One Piece. That's about it.
That's all that's happening in the story.
What are we doing? Oh right, we're doing fast travel to kill a demon, right?
We're going to Duca, wherever that is. That sounds north. That's where the ogre king. Am I right?
That was the most casual way. Everything's north.
Am I wrong?
No, so I pinned the map in chat because we didn't have it pinned.
Okay.
You can actually figure out where Duca is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do that. Oh, I thought Duca was a city, but it's a whole ass problem.
It's a province.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's
Okay, so it's the one that looks like an anteater north of. That doesn't say Germany. I can't read that though because it's
Grecan.
yeah, north of
Are
Germany.
y'all looking at the map right now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Are you not looking at the map?
No, I wasn't looking at the map. Oh, Odamu's not there. Odamu's dead.
No, no, not that map. No,
The
no, it's
one
in
pinned in
Discord.
the Discord.
Wait, what? You put map in Spooky Spook?
No.
No, it's in the spot. It's pinned.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
It was put there on 4th. It was put there on
Oh my,
April
there's a
40th.
map here.
February, March, April. Yeah, April. Yeah, there we go. It's the entire Great Emperor. We can see it now.
Wow, we can see the entire Great Empire. We're down
Whoever
here. We're that single. Okay, wow. That.
Whoever told us we're the most south clearly hasn't looked at a map of the entirety of the Great Empire.
Looking at
Because there
you
is
Everyone
guys.
must be
clearly more
so
south.
fucking confused about like. Why are these people? Why is a Great Empire visiting these people? We really gotta unite with the other two, to have like a chance at all.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, we have the entire Italy boot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have Italy boot, but there's two other places right next to us which doesn't have anything. We have like that tiny spot.
Sorry.
Hey, think of it like this: the entirety of season 1 took place in that little blue thing.
Oh no. Oh, we're so screwed.
The entirety of season 1 is that little blue thing right there.
Where's
We've
the
been
cap-
pushing way too hard.
Where's the capital on this bish?
It's a place called the Great Capital. So, or
Oh,
the,
sorry. All right, Grand Capital.
Grand Capital?
Capital.
Oh, my bad. Reading comprehension fail. My bad.
Yeah, the
it's-
Great Emperor is not great with naming things.
No, he's really not. Because I mean, everything else probably was named by someone else, but
We have islands in the Great Empire? Oh my.
we do. We have Ilder and Hatchman or Hatchkan, which they had a. We don't need more information. They had a civil war or something. I remember reading somewhere. I forget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
We also have Nate.
it reminds me of Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
We're like Ireland.
And then Nide.
Nade.
Hey,
I don't know. Hacky Kaki Tashi Nashi Stashi is probably the worst name I've heard.
Right next to the capital. That's great. Akitranistai.
Hacky Kaki trying to stay.
Uh-huh.
As someone who can actively say Hydrolorem Epiphysius without actually thinking about it, I'll be able to say it properly eventually. But
I feel like
let's see.
Rattlework.
Server doesn't
that
know.
province seems like offensive for some reason. I don't know why.
Hacky Kaki trying to stay.
It sounds almost like a slur somehow, or like just like a insult of like you call someone that.
Aw.
I mean, there's so many words in it which you could probably shorten to just like trash anyone from that place.
Mm.
Like, oh, what are you, a hacky?
Oh
sounds like an
no!
insult.
How could you? Oh God, Justin, you can't say that on like Twitch.
You brat Tolmertian. Right next to Resin, Brattlemert.
Brattlemert.
You brat Tolmertian.
The worst province here is Vegna.
Where's that?
Vehigna. That's where Marlush is from.
The one
Oh,
that's the exact opposite of the map of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where Marley's from? That's funny.
That's where Marley's from. That place sucks.
Great Khan from like zoomed out just looks like really poorly
There
spelled.
was another country at some point.
Oh man, we're going to Duca. Oops, we ended up in Key Line by accident. How did that happen? Oh my god.
What's in key lime?
Nothing.
Pie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You looking for pie?
Yes.
We had guns before spiced bread.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I just remember that.
Peak culture. Absolute peak culture.
Peak culture. Yeah, this place is bigger than we think it is. Let's start.
Is mountains the
Yeah,
name?
let's go.
My gosh, mountains isn't even mountains, it's Mountians. That means that's an actual state, isn't it?
No, there's mountains. It's the small mountains, and then mountains, which is the big mountains.
Okay.
So you see, there's mountains in red, and then there's mountains in not red.
No, there's mountains in red and there's Mount Tian's in black.
You're right. I think it's because that one doesn't have demons, probably.
I think that's because you mistyped it.
No, there's a reason. That's because that's where the elves were before they were eradicated.
Oh.
Right, that's where the elves were before they were eradicated.
Right.
We tried to stop it.
Yeah. When you put an A in before, when you don't put the A before the I, you go after T.
What? I don't know English, sorry. I don't actually speak English.
I speak common.
I speak common, thank you very much.
Gentilian.
Could you imagine? Oh
One.
my goodness, I want that to be a line.
I don't speak English. I speak common.
Yeah, just like something in D&D, someone in D&D to be like the most like not what was it called? Like xenophobic, most xenophobic person to say that.
For the time being, transportation can only be done through the bloodline of a royal. In this case.
Wait a second, are we gonna stick around for the Great Emperor?
Yes, we are actually going to the coronation ceremony first. Can only be done through the bloodline of a royal. Roman Viona. One of the rightful heirs to Becky DeRai. But Roman Viona is not the only one who is going to be present there. There will also be the addition of his brother Sesame, older. One who has a slight problem with understanding people. And a touch in the darkness, ever so slightly. The mysterious hydromancer. Sona was removed from the line. Despite looking much like a prior generation Cassandra, she would have been a shoo-in to those who idolized her. Finally, the oldest out of the bunch, Bessie. Not much is known of her. Except for the line. Purity. Kintsugi doesn't remember much about Bessie. But if the Great Emperor has to choose anyone, Kintsugi feels that Bessie is probably the most controllable. Moving is going to be a little bit of work. Not particularly easy, but it can be done. Enough time has passed that rest come to. He remembers the great emperor was in the very same place as her. Once. Just once. when she had taken the teleportation north. Without doubt, he would be nearing soon. Darkness Intel says that the Great Emperor will be landing for the ceremony, not in Limba's Fall, which was priorly expected. But instead, the coronation would take place, oh gods, really? In Eds.
I mean, everything happens in Eds.
Is that the Clout City?
That's a Cloud City.
Oh my gosh.
The Great Emperor's believing it.
He fell for the tourist trap. That's hilarious.
Everything happens in Eds, okay? That's where the Great Emperor was born.
True, it's true.
I mean, that's where the campaign started.
I mean, that's where that's where spiced bread and guns were invented. Not in that order.
I was born in Eds.
I heard Odamu is in Eds right now.
Eds is actually the capital of the country.
Yeah, don't you know?
The fact that I think he actually did fall for Ed's tourist trap.
Would mean they would have to set out almost immediately. It would be a bit of a hike to the blasted mines. And then from there, they would take cart up Yoroshiro's scar. Once they reached the Great Library, they would hike down, travel past Tolkana, and arrive in Fu. The Great
Wait, why are we going to Fu if we're going to Eds?
Not done the sentence.
What?
Not done the sentence.
Okay, sorry.
From Fu, they would wait out the Great Emperor's rear guard and then travel behind to Eds. There wouldn't be a whole lot of stealth, it's just positioning. Once Fu was mainly vacated, they would have enough time to set up the second force. The second force, of course, being Roman and his most trustworthy retainer, Kensuke. However, Kensuke is not filled with much confidence.
Walking Roman down the aisle as a #1 criminal,
Most wanted, right towards the great emperor himself. It sounded like she was simply marrying him to his own death. But she had to stay at least somewhat hopeful. It's what he wanted. Sounds like a very Ryu thing to do. But should they need Kamchi? And the newest edition, Kamchi's cousin, sister, maybe? Nima would be there. So they were told not to intervene, no matter what happened. They had to make sure that they weren't caught up in whatever. If something went wrong, they had to be ready to accept the fact that they can't win a fight here. The great emperor himself. The legends would tell of his impervious nature. He was immune to all damage. Except for one. He was able to be cut once by one man. Many. No one else has been able to do it. And even that cut was only a mere scratch. He was a monster in many ways. A being that could be called stronger than most gods. If you wanted to snap Roman's neck, and so you didn't want to think about it. In a way, this travel felt one she's done many times, but more specifically the one she did with Ryu. While they did not come and move together, and there was a whole lot more technicalities, it felt more empty. Climbing down from the mountain range, she almost looked right, instinctively, where she could see the visage of him walking along, proudly having his back poised high, smiling. Only for a moment. Because it was always good to feel good on the start of an adventure. But instead of Ryu walking there, it was Roman. He wasn't necessarily smiling. He wasn't frowning either. And still the visage of Gakuatsu walked behind him. They weren't actually there, nor was it a trick of the light, or a delusion, or simply hallucination. Just what she felt was right. To her other side, Nima, who seemed to be looking around, taking in the world every step. Perhaps she was simply looking on guard. Or perhaps she was simply overwhelmed by touching the natural world in a way that was different than her, but still very much what she knew. Finally, Kamshi, still slightly terrified. Her next transition would be soon. Kamshi never was really settled whenever it came to changing. Suki could see that. But she knew she couldn't stay the same. She always wanted to be whoever she was for just a little bit longer. In her spring form, she was so small and very easily able to be picked up. Almost like a child in size. A terrifyingly small woman in nature.
Youthful, optimistic.
Kintsugi kind of changed with the seasons too. Kind of understand now how that felt. Whatever light was at the end of the tunnel. Nima, on the other hand, was, in fact, baffled. Yoroshiro's scar. The thing that they were coming up on, or at least the place, the words that were given to that place. So weird to name landmarks. Sure, you could call a place one thing, and a city another thing. Yoroshiro's scar. Who was Yoroshiro? Was Yoroshiro a fancy builder? Yoroshiro a dog? When she sees it, all she sees is Randamon's flat. Doesn't even really know what that means, but that's what it feels like to her. An area of such great purity. It's not dead, hardly alive. It's like it's been reforged, reflowed, set back. If it weren't for that shrine, or really anything in between, this desolate, large flat of stone. Probably the most natural thing she's seen since her times in the garden. But it's also the most unnatural thing she's seen because it's just a flat. Mountains are supposed to be poking up here like little dimples or brush hairs. Whatever this was, it must have been the form of probably a witch. A really big witch. The breath that's taken here smells sooty. Like there's magma in the air or smoke cascading the very rocks. But more of a steam way. She desperately wanted to step on it. She wanted to walk on Yoroshiro's scar. Wanted to feel it beneath her feet. Honestly, it was a little scary how much she wanted to stand on it. She was being drawn to it, like that was good.
Is it like a hunger she feels to stand on it? A desire in that way?
I wouldn't describe it as a hunger.
Okay, that's good.
To describe it more as just a heavy inclination.
Okay, yeah, now I totally get it. Well, I was.
Why are you two such long-faced?
Kamshi simply looks towards both of them, confused.
The length of my face has changed since turning into a Goliath. I simply cannot help it. Turns to Nima.
Wait, does she have a long face?
Oh, she forgot. She forgot emotions there for a second. She forgot to
Oh.
show them. Right.
Sorry, I was sort of spacing out there. I was busy thinking about this area. It's kind of beautiful if you think about it. Does like a proper smile because yeah. Oh, oh, I hate that. I love that too. Just like the idea of like her forgetting to do emotions. It's like a conscious effort. I have nothing wrong going on. She'll look at Kinsuki and do a insight though. Wait, is she actually sad?
Go for it.
Is Kinsuki okay with that insight of oh good, I have a high, I'm not proficient. $12.
Yeah, she's actually sad. She's sad. Especially kind of walking through here as well.
She just kind of like pats her cheeks a little, or her own cheeks a little bit, just a question. Oh, I must be bad at reading the room right now.
Would walking on Yoroshiro's scar help you?
No. Yeah, maybe it would.
I know I'm really curious what it's like to walk barefoot on it.
Yeah, that sounds really. Are we in a cart right now? Is that what's happening?
We will be in a cart, but we're currently walking down to the scar.
Okay, she stands right next to you. She'll be good for this if you're going barefoot too. She's gonna take a deep breath.
Wait, is it like is it here? Is it something we can step on right now?
No, we're walking down to Yoroshiro's scar. We will be eventually.
Oh, okay. If you're going barefoot while we're going, I'll do barefoot too. But I just take a deep breath, and as I'm holding it, I think a single tear falls out. And it's like, and that surprises her. Oh, wow. Okay. What did you find so beautiful about all this exactly?
Well, sees that you probably cried a bit and is like, oh, well, it's kind of pure in many ways. I mean, of course, there's clearly supposed to be mountains here. And, oh, shit. Oh, I remembered he listening to you, but it's been so long since, everything. It's like, there was natural in some ways, but not natural?
It was entirely natural and pure, yet it was unnatural in the form that a flat like this just, doesn't exist. It was almost as if it was reset to its origins, and its origins did not fully account for what the land was around it. It was like a great spirit, or, as she put it, a witch had done something.
It's as if this land was reset towards its origins with, well, realistically no regards to anything else that happened around the land around it. As it's supposed to be. I could only imagine a really big witch could do something like that.
Oh, yeah. Probably someone like really magical and cool. Yup. I'm gonna put my shoes on now, okay? Just scurry on a
Kinda-
little bit further ahead.
Do you know anything about what happened to this place? You seem really
Uh,
torn up either about the rocks in your feet or
no,
the scar place.
I just no, I don't. Well, no, I don't really know that much. I think there's a sun temple somewhere on along the lines here too. But I just realized I'm traveling somewhere and I don't have my magic carpet and I have to use my feet. It's just hitting me. And normally I'm able to keep these emotions inside pretty well. But starts hyperventilating for a little bit before finally slowing down her breath. Well, that's okay, because normal people have to walk anyway, and that's okay.
Are you sure you're up to do this, Nina Kansugi?
Yeah, I am. This is just really brand new. It's just things are so different in this body. Like I can maintain memories, and when I take a single step, it's like so much farther than normal. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to break down right now. Normally, I'd just run away and compose myself, but I'm really trying not to.
I understand that new things can be scary sometimes, but all of these things are new to me as well, and instead of fearing what's different, I mean, it's nice if you learn how to enjoy the new things. I mean, these things are something that you never would have experienced otherwise.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just start scurrying forward. I'm gonna go scout out ahead and make sure we don't get attacked. I thank you, thank you. I hold both of Nima's hands in my hand. Thank you, Nima. And I give Kamshi a hug, and then I give Roman an unnecessarily like long hug. And then I'm gonna go scout out ahead.
Roll a perception if you want,
I
or
do.
whatever skill checks you want to do.
I'm not hiding. I'm not a stealth character anymore.
You can still do stealth, maybe.
No, I'm here to be. I'm the big bodyguard that's gonna draw aggro and protect my boy. So, how about this? +5. Ooh, another 12. I'm seeing a theme here.
Slightly above average.
There's a look of concern on Roman's face as he watches Nina walk off. It's just, I mean, oh yeah, this one has no eye. That's right. Yeah. Okay. He does have a look of concern and worry as he just sighs out.
I think there's a realization that she's always had like this much emotion, but like being able to process it by having space is something like she normally defaults to in part of the running away. So it just feels so weird to just feel the emotions right when they're happening and around people. She's learning to navigate that still.
No. The more I think about it, she hasn't really changed at all. But she's a lot better at handling it than she was. That makes any sense. While she was a lot more tactical before, I think she's more honest with her feelings. Roman scratches the back of his head. Right, Yoroshira Scar, it was said that it was formed by the creation of a great spirit by the name Randamon. Took the form of a great turtle who ate everything in its way from mountains to encampments, and behind it paved this scar. It had all the way it headed all the way up to the center mountain where Randamon was eventually defeated by a hero king.
I know that his history check, huh? Great turtle. Huh, is there something she knows that could be called like a great turtle? I guess yeah, that's a history check, not a religion, Darren. No, that's just a wisdom check. She's gonna do just a wisdom check to see if she remembers anything like a great turtle, because I think she overestimates her wisdom versus her intellect, and like just like, oh yeah, yeah. If I wonder if I've heard of anything like that. 9.
Known a bunch of turtles.
Hmm.
Some of them might have been great. I mean, that name, she thought of that name, so she must have heard it once before, but doesn't ring a bell. I mean, yeah, I guess it really was a problem, and she would have liked to meet it. Unfortunate it's dead.
Well, the fact that it's able to, well, I'm sure it was quite terrifying at the time, but the land here, although glassed, isn't necessarily bad or unnatural.
I can't speak much on the natural world at all. But I do know that there's many good things that came from it. There used to be demons all across these mountains. They were removed after it came through. Mines were set up here in order to recover the materials that demon weapons had been turned to natural ore again. Hence the building of the blasted mines, which also acted as a great deal of production of stone for some of the walls were enacted many years ago. Roads, buildings, a lot of good came out of it, but many people lost their lives.
I don't expect forces of nature such as that would really see much difference within the lives of people versus the lives of animals. But it's usually the way things go. Beings that can cause great good can be perceived as evil and bad. And people are generally right with those assumptions. Still a bit tragic in my mind.
The creature was made to hold hopes, I feel.
What?
The creature was made to hold hopes, I feel. It was simply performing its duty.
Yeah, Nemo relates to this turtle. She was just doing her job and then people hated her. She did more good than evil.
Nature isn't always kind, but neither is society. I can forgive it, for it removed a large portion of demons. These mountains would have been nothing but corrupted and tainted otherwise. It is the land of Koi Priana, You must see to understand. I feel no sympathy for the demons. They work
Do you,
against the inclination of nature and balance.
do you see imbalance in this land right now?
No, there is none. But it's on its way to healing. While the scar has removed demon taint, the rest of the land still reels in torment. It is still very unholy. It is simply as if putting a ball of ice onto a pit of fire. Once you put the ball of ice into the pit of fire, it will eventually melt, and both will be dispersed. But at the time, the ball of ice is Yoroshiro's scar, and the fire is the surrounding mountains. I don't think I've ever really heard you talk about anything before in most of our travels. And I'm sorry that I don't know much about you, Nima. I feel like I don't really know Kansugi's friends.
Well, you heard most of my story before, although most people didn't seem to care that much.
I think they did care. It's just they have to balance a ton of priorities at once. Leading people, especially in such turbulent times, you have to take things one step at a time. Although I do feel the same way sometimes that I may not entirely be heard. I'm sure Barone listens. Kind of their total leader, although it is sort of a council. Soon enough, I'll be taking the position. Although the darkness, I imagine, will still stick around in case I mess up. I don't plan on messing up. I think what's likely going to happen, Donovyard's probably going to look more into death.
Well, then I'm relieved then. I was a bit worried that my words fell on deaf ears. I didn't need anything like respect or praise or anything, or admiration. But there was a part of me that expected it. But everyone's been treating me really nice, actually. No worship or anything of the sorts like that. It's a nice change. Because I feel like when she was a god, everyone was like, oh, it's a god, oh my goodness, kawaii, impressive, oh wow.
Most of her followers or inadvertent creations were. Nima actually ended up dealing a lot more with the haters than the lovers. More often than not, she was at the brunt end of her friends and the people she arguably actually cared more about. chastising or going against her. The words of other retainers like William, as he and Guinevere sat in their kingdom of whatever it was, in the frozen lands. She would catch sights occasionally of them, and they would never really speak much highly of her. Whenever anyone mentioned her name, she'd be able to almost scry on them. It would never usually be associated with that much good, although she didn't really care. The only people that didn't apply to were the forces and agents of Ashen, where she couldn't scry on them.
Although
No.
now thinking,
It didn't hurt her at the time, but who says it doesn't now?
although now thinking about it, well, my friends really ended up hating me a lot back then. I hope it doesn't happen to you as well one day.
I think no matter how much you rule, whether you're a god or a leader, there's going to be a certain amount of people who don't like you on principle. Me and my family, well, I'm actually the youngest. Sona used to be the oldest.
The
Youngest.
one thing that probably happens, just like slightly, is like she smiles for a little bit too long while listening. Of like, oh wow, this is Soda used to be the youngest. Oh right. Oh right. That's a sad thing. So she probably like frowns a bit because it's like not no like she doesn't actually feel sad about like death at this point. Like it's kind of sad. Well, no, she does. She doesn't like death, but it takes a second for like the personal connection to like catch up to her. Of like, oh right, someone dying is sad because they die, and there's more attached to it, and yeah.
An interesting picture to see. Roman, more emotional to the matter. Nima, almost both involved and detached at the same time. Kamshi just seems to remain kind of chipper. For Nima, just using as a reference, Kamshi doesn't really seem to go into major response unless she's doing something.
Unless it's something in her like wheelhouse or something she understands or expects or anything like that.
Yeah. She's definitely shown it. She's shown almost zealous before. Right now, it's just like she's a little bit almost disconnected from Roman.
If Roman was talking about Yorishira's scar or something of balance, she'd talk a lot more. Nima will do like a physical connection with Roman to like be like it's okay sort of gesture of whether it's like putting an arm around him or like patting his head or whatever the Wayne thing to do for like somebody who's consoling in like a best way she can while they walk.
Glare from across the map.
Is it glare? I thought Old Wayne was actually physical and touches and hugs.
No, but I have to make the joke.
Okay, phew.
It's like it's a weird. It's weird to understand these weird social cues.
Listen, everywhere has different social cues, so like pretty much side hug equivalent of like, ah, there we go, it's okay. I have connection to you at this point. Because like pretty much in the afterlife they'll meet again essentially, and like yeah, realistically maybe.
Well, if there is an afterlife, Nina's just hoping she doesn't go back to the garden.
Yeah.
In a way, the garden is almost a way to prolong your life, but it's also a way of never being able to be with. She really did seclude herself from ever being with her friends.
Would you like to be friends? I.
Roman seems a little baffled. Yeah, I think we could be friends.
I know it's a bit out of the blue, but she has no words to console for death. I really don't have much words I can do to console you.
I well, I learned that handling my feelings from the best. So
Hmm?
I learned at handling my feelings from the best. So I appreciate the desire. Thank you.
If you do want to get to know Kamshi a bit better, um, my sister's. My sister has a bunch of hobbies of her own, and if you ever want to talk to Kamshi, you definitely have to go out of your way to talk about something she's interested in. And then once you do find that something that you both share a connection with, that you both care about, I'm certain she'll be able to talk your ear off.
You think so?
Nods.
I mean, I don't think. I thought she was just more shy.
I wouldn't say she's
Does a
in her
little
own.
look over.
Is Kamshi listening?
She seems to be paying attention. Kind of going.
She has nothing to add? Pretty much?
Nothing really to add there.
I mean, I don't think she has anything to add right now.
Feel like I might have been missing making conversation for all the times that we have been around each other. But I'm not sure I really know what to talk about. I mean, how long you two are family and you had people worshiping you as a how old are both of you?
Me was like thousands. She lost track probably.
And waves hand, you know, a number that's really big.
I honestly, it's for me personally. I'm not quite sure. It's a bit too big to question. But Kamshi, I believe you're a lot younger, right, Kamshi? Question mark to Kamshi.
I'm 13.
Roman looks shocked.
I'm. Roman looks shocked.
Neva's accepting it. As much as we're sisters, it's sort of a weird situation, because we were both very much born from the God of Eternal Service, but I still also had actual parents as well.
Uh, I'm. I'm just. I didn't know I was not the youngest one here.
How old are you?
I'm 14.
Sorry, this is me laughing.
The most funny thing about it is Kamji doesn't actually know her own age, so she just said a random number. I know
Oh
for
god.
sure Kamji is 21, but she doesn't know, so she just said a number to make her sound smart.
And she doesn't know what age is regular.
Um,
Does
I do
Nima
want
know
to bring.
13 and 12 are considered young, or does she not because each race and each spirit is different? Has she forgotten what's a reasonable age for a human to be not a child?
Everything's young.
Okay.
It depends on how they act. I will bring up that Kintsugi 100% knows that Kamshi is 21. I will bring up that Kintsugi also can hear this entire conversation that's happening.
I'm gonna just let it happen. And part of me is like, oh my gosh, Kamchi just told a joke. That's so funny.
Drama!
Uh, but also, she's very touched the fact that Robin still sees her as Nina. Snivel, snivel.
Let's see, because I know that Kamshi enjoys balance, and that's a good thing. Does Nima know anything else that Kamshi would probably want speak up about? Does she know
Well,
that she does enchanting?
she does have a bunch of magical knowledge. She's very skilled when it comes to probably fighting things. Um, seasonal. I don't know. It just feels like you can talk with almost anything about Takamshi, and she'll listen and she'll provide input. There's no problem here.
Yeah.
Honestly, if just talk to her.
Yeah, give it a try. She'll kind of push Robin to be standing next to Kamshi.
As of current, I want to bring this up because it's a funny piece of visual display. Roman is the exact same size as Kamji at the moment.
Ha! He's gonna be so confused with this.
Hi. My name's Viona. I'm Roman. Um, Kamshi stares as he puts his hand out as to shake. I'm sorry, I'm engaged. As Kamshi just continues walking. Almost like it was practiced. Kamshi has a big smirk on her face, like, I did it. I pulled off a joke.
Sorry. She probably makes a bit of a giggle at that, trying to stifle it.
Is engaged your family name? Or were you saying that you're married? Wait, who are you married to? Kamshi? Simply looks behind with a very prominent grin before her face just returns to normal. Why are your swords on fire? Why do you have fire swords? I've noticed you had those when training with Ryu one day. Why do you have fiery swords? That's not... Are they always on fire? Why are they bleeding? They're my father's swords. My father gave them to me. He also gave me a pair of daggers. She draws one of the blades. It's a light katana, in which its metal almost looks like it's in a perpetual state of bleeding, but it's self-contained within the blade. And it's also on fire. It stands out very prominently. This robot takes a little bit of a step back. One who raised me. He was a very strong fighter. He taught me how to attack, how to make way. A long time ago, he was given these swords as a ancient prank from a spirit. They always looked like they were covered in blood, and the spirit told him to try and wash them clean. If he could wash them clean, the spirit would help him do something, although I never knew what. Once it was washed clean, that would be the easy part. He told me he took them to a watering hole and scrubbed for hours, but they would never come clean. It would always look like the blood was inside the sword. And so he came up with the idea. He dipped the sword in oil and then lit the sword on fire in a hope to burn away what was inside. The spirit said it was funny to him that fire represented purity, and to clean the sword, instead of using water, to use fire. So the spirit made it so that the swords were always on fire, although simply cosmetic fire. He said that he couldn't bring this into a fight. People would think that he was a demon or using a demon weapon. The spirit simply laughed and said that I guess you need a new sword. and then gave him a second one with the same enchantment. That's actually really cool. Oh, your dad was like a spirit knight. He used to be a guard. He retired. And him and my mom lived on the spirit lands for some time. At that time that he also procured these flaming throwing daggers. The same spirit, a different day. These were given to him as an accomplishment of my birth. And for protecting me when the great emperor had sent his lackeys to kill me. In many ways, it was a foretelling of the death of my mother and the inevitable death of him. I'm sorry. Death is only one stage. Saddens me that they are gone. Really does. But I am in the state of beginnings. So not mourn for them, but instead remember how they have impacted me today. If it were not for their fighting, I may not have made my way to encounter some of my friends that I have met. Ramshi takes a look at her hair, the very end starting to brown. Whatever face you wish to be remembered by. Be sure you're remembered by this one in a good light. When I change, afraid to make a bad impression on spring, it'll last until winter. If you do not sow the ground with the correct seeds, you will not yield crops in fall. And should you be too late, you will suffer the wrath of summer. That's really poetic. It was not a poem. It's how I function. It was my fear. Me and my friend would not be able to see each other for summer. We have. I'm glad for it. Most spirits operate off of a very similar ideal. Whatever they are spirit of, they tend to have an almost unbreakable code or law that is built into their very being. They are not ones of humanity or any other race. Nima knows that all too soon. You must first understand a spirit and how it functions in order to best get along. and a seasonal spirit, such as Kamji. She's only fortunate that she showed up in spring. It means the bonds that they make can last a whole year. Well, a year isn't very long. Nemo plans to make those bonds last until either one of them perishes.
Nima can't help but to glorp on and to hug Kamchi at that point, probably.
Whump. You know, spring is just very huggable.
Spring is absolutely huggable. I'm going to hug her in summer as well. I'm establishing this as our boundaries. I will manipulate you so you're my bestest friend and sister.
That is how you do it.
Number one skill to do. So, forgive me then. If that's the case, how did Odamu Ryu win you over in summer? He waited till spring. I'm not incapable of making any bonds whatsoever. But it was only in spring did we become friends. It made every summer after much more enjoyable. He understood that. We understood each other. I understand he could be satisfied with his ending. But I think he would have traveled for more if he could. Far more. I believe it was his destiny to go for more. I get the feeling. As long as he has a chance, I don't think he's going to give up. I think he sees a chance in any situation. Do you mind if Roman goes in to try and replicate what Nima is still currently doing? I don't really get this, but there.
Can I stealth check into grappling
I was thinking
everybody?
you're trying to thorn whip you over here, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Real stuff this time of
I would like to
into a group hug.
I would like to stealth check and then grapple check to lift everybody into this hug. Stealth! Hiya! Hold on.
Hiya!
Just like, oh, this is so adorable. I love it. Oh my golly.
So +7.
It makes me feel warm, but they're all gonna die horribly.
So that's my stealth. And then this is my athletics. Okay.
No one's resisting.
No one's
We're not going to start resisting now. Nina, out of literally nowhere, as Kintsugi, picks up the entire group. Kamchi literally sandwiched in the middle of this weird burrito of people. Her legs still moving for a few seconds after she stopped actually being on the ground.
I take a deep breath in. Then I take a deep breath out. And I slowly set everybody down.
Andy!
And
Andy!
Andy!
The best part about Andy is we never technically were there for that tradition ever being
We just heard about some dude shouting Andy to do cheers, and like we followed.
The joke is, it's just that it's someone who sold their soul to to Papyrus, and whenever Papyrus took a drink of that soul, he'd be like, "Ah!" It's like when you go
Andy!
wine.
I accomplished a great thing today, Andy. Wait, what? You just sold your soul to Papyrus?
No, that's what Papyrus was drinking, and Papyrus would just
Yeah, he was drinking Andy.
he would just
Oh,
exclaim whatever he was drinking.
orange Kool-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. I'll go back to perceptioning. I was like, oh, sorry. I mean,
Yeah,
no, I'm not.
we break off and continue going on happily.
Don't apologize. So I just set you guys back down and back to sentry mode. 10, yes. I only roll high when I'm avoiding problems.
Or stealthing. You are a stealth character. Also, you have a +7 to stealth, and you say you're not a stealth character.
I'm not. I'm a brick house.
You can be a brick house that hits from nowheres.
Okay.
I just want to bring up
Mhm.
that in the world of Warcraft, there is a half orc who is a rogue who is single-handedly able to like infiltrate and take down an entire kingdom, and they're a half orc.
Mhm.
They're huge and they're a rogue. You can do it.
Okay.
Whoa. We believe in you to murder people. Sneakily.
You can disassemble an entire government.
Aw, that's the nicest thing. Nina needed to, or Kintsugi needed to hear that.
Don't worry, because everyone still sees her as properly Nina. We just get Nina in the chat log. Roman says Nina, I mean Kintsugi, literally all the time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she only knows her as Kinsuki.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I'll respect your secret, same identity.
Thank you.
Roman's just like, Mom.
Mom!
The
Oh,
cart.
golly.
The cart is there, and we do end up getting a proper escort up Yoroshiro's scar. And honestly, it feels exactly like, well, what Nima thought. It's like a little slate of happiness or of home. And she doesn't even really consider the negative connotations of home when standing on it. Like she missed it. She doesn't know who this Yoroshiro person is. But you did a good job, Randomon.
You did a good job, Randomon. Aww.
The cart clicks and rattles away. It's very flat, probably hard on the beasts of burden. But they look like they're doing it. The driver, a gentleman old, probably like 60. So like really old. And like keeps his head down and doesn't talk much.
Oh, he's so young.
Moment. During the travel, Kensuke catches sight of the wayward and long, out of the way Temple of the Sun. A very old, a very youthful looking lady whose skin radiates the sun. Simply stands in the door waving, as if she knew that Kensuke would be coming by.
Nemo works back! She has no clue who this lady is, but she's so friendly.
I'll wave too. Is this
Wow, Dharma really has changed a lot.
This is I don't know. I'm sorry, TJ's forgetting her name, but I know her feeling and her vibe.
Payo.
Yo.
Pio. Is this Pio?
This is Bio.
Is it how much out of the way is it to visit her?
We're cutting it a little close.
No.
We should probably just keep going. She's waving for a reason, and that's because she knows you're not stopping by.
Is she dancing?
She's just waving.
She should have danced like Barry told her. That's good. Roman, if you ever need to go find refuge, this temple might be a good resource for you.
Hmm? Oh, that would make sense. I mean, it's a Temple of the Sun after all. Although I was never... Well, yeah, she worships the sun still, right? Because if she didn't, she'd die.
She worships the sun because if she didn't, she'd die.
I obviously still worship the sun. I just have always had more of a connection to the god of eternal service.
Oh, yeah, that's nice. I was mainly like you could find refuge there too. I was mainly talking
Yes,
to Roman.
of course. That makes so much more sense.
I was mainly talking to Roman, but yeah, you're welcome. That's Pio. That's Lady Pio. She's great. Yeah.
She looks really friendly.
Very much zealous. Yes. Yeah. You know what? Her son is the first person that found me after I killed a wax clone of Kamshi right in front of Goz. Just smiling really awkwardly. Just the fact that was a sentence.
Sounds like he's a very dependable guy, and the family is very zealous.
Yeah, very devout. He had a holy symbol like implanted into his chest. It looks pretty hardcore. Yeah. Yep.
Does not sound balanced.
How would you what side would you imagine him on, Kamshi?
Mentally unstable.
Well, I'm definitely not one to make judgments about other people's mentalities. But Nima, you should definitely go and say hi to Pio up there sometime if you ever have time. A fellow holy. It's nice being around other people of the cloth. I'm sure you enjoyed it. You would enjoy it.
I think so too. But I also probably enjoyed talking to most people. At least right now, I will.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, these four are cute.
These four are cute. Also, the driver. Yeah, I met her son when I killed a. She said darkness in front of the cab driver.
No, I didn't
The
say
driver's a darkness operative.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, good. I thought it was just some random dude, so I was like, yeah, you killed a wax clone of. He was the first one to show. Yeah, it sounds crazy.
I didn't say darkness, by the way.
In front of the god of eternal service. How you
That's
did the
even
dead
worse.
god? Give me the god that has a 50 quid bounty. I don't know what a quid is, but I want 50 of them. Put your hands up.
I want at least 30 of them. The extra 20 will go to my niece.
I just lean up against. I lean forward and like from behind the driver, my mouth is like behind his ear, and I go, "Are you a golem?"
No, I'm Gary.
He doesn't respond.
Insight check. /R D20 +5. Let me just double check if it's +5. I want to make sure it's the correct numbers. Can't be lying now. It is a +8. Hiya. 20 total.
He doesn't even know what the hell a Golan even is. He's just taking it as if he's carting around a some person who's tipped off the alcohol a little bit too much, and usually
turned playboy.
ignoring them works. He's not paid to spy on them. He's paid to not ask questions and just go forward.
All right.
Sinks back into the shadows.
Actually, I'm gonna need a yes or a no.
Shakes his head no.
Good. I just give him a hearty pat on the back. Glad to hear it. Okay, guys, looks like the cart's secure.
Oh golly. Oh.
Roman's embarrassed he didn't check. He's starting to realize that perhaps they could have been definitely duped out by a false cart and been, assassinated by something.
Explosive runes on the cart underneath.
Nima knows that Roman's the quote-unquote king, right?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I forgot her.
He's the quote unquote king. I mean, they're going to make him the quote unquote king. He said, oh shoot. Oh shoot, what?
Don't worry. Fred, there's no redeems for this game. We'll refund you the points, but
Oh.
I'm not a DM, but
bread,
we're honored you were trying to heal Roman and give him some good bread.
Oh.
I know. He's going to be the king, essentially. She doesn't know that can...
That's adorable, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Like, does Nima doesn't know Kintsugi's Roman's official retainer, right?
No, I think that's probably common knowledge. I'm assuming.
The question that's on my mind and would be on Nima's mind, unless she already knows the answer, is like, so Roman, who's the high priestess in general? Or who's going to be her, yeah.
Yeah, you could definitely ask that question. Roman's definitely going to be the king.
Roman, I have a bit of a question for you.
Sure.
Who's gonna be the high priestess in general?
I think that was more stage 2 once we took back control of Becky DeRai. I don't have a good answer for you right now.
Oh, no worries. It was more curiosity since, well, I feel like it might be an important step. It's hard to do things alone, but I guess you're not alone right now.
Yeah, we're kind of not sitting in a very good position, and we're trying to make the best of what we got. Right now, the great emperor discontinued us from even being allowed to have a 3 royal system. Getting a 1 royal system. You can see how that's difficult.
Is it, though? I mean, after you're selected to be king, doesn't that just make it easy for you to appoint people to be that position, but not officially in name?
We're sidestepping a whole lot already, but that's where Phase 2 comes in.
Oh.
Phase 2, we can deal with that. Once the Great Emperor assigns us, we have to make many moves very quickly. Roman seems hesitant to talk about this at the moment.
Right, of course. She'll more or less drop it. I mean, back in my day, there was a lot of times where the king, high priestess, and general would be sent on different missions with several different retainers. Well, I guess that's when they were princes, and even when they became kings, there was a lot of times where they had to go to the front lines and accomplish a bunch of different things in just small groups.
What was the king like in your generation?
Whiz.
Just let him die!
Let him die! She is going to roll a wisdom check on the king because she never really had much of an interaction with him. Very capable. He
He was like the incarnation of the sun.
Sorry, what was that?
He was like the incarnation of the sun.
He was like the incarnation of the sun. Extremely reliable, bright, and I mean, was she during at the war place? Yeah, she was there to heal people at the during the front lines war, and like, did she see the Battle of Khaldun of like coming down like the sun and just like everyone being so powerful?
But she had seen that. He's also very much aware of he was, if not, no, he was the one who stayed behind along with a collective few others when the apocalypse was in its making.
And he could
And
strike like this.
from his own accomplishments, at least what was shown afterwards, he did a lot.
He could also strike like the sun too. Not to mention the amount of things he did just as well was inhuman in many ways. Not to mention, he also stayed back back to fight against the apocalypse on his own with a few other retainers.
Sounds like a pretty impressive guy.
He was. Although I didn't see much of him. I got to see the journeys of the royal I served, High Priestess Azori, and General Alexander much more. And they both were amazing people in their own right as well. Realistically, they were the exception and not the rule to the kingship and royalty. The previous king before them was their father, and he was outshined by his son. I mean, there was actually a rebellion that happened while they were off overseas doing war. People wanted Khaldun to be in charge so badly that they tried to usurp the father. They failed, of course. But it was, I could imagine, quite the shock for the three of them when they returned.
The thought of these events transpiring so many years ago, it can't even be properly recorded on a calendar, is mind-boggling.
The other kings within Wayne, I guess that's a history check, ain't it, for like all the different kings and like other ones that are not like the impossible to compare to Khaldun. Nope, fucking it is Khaldun.
Most of them, honestly, are not in Nima's wheelhouse to look at. I mean, the obvious ones that kind of popped up. I mean, there was the time that Alexander took the role of being a king. And while Alexander was taking the role of being a king, you know, eh. When Azori was being a king, eh. But I mean, they eventually had kids, and those kids followed the system. Many of the royals that would end up becoming either kings, high priestesses, or generals, they were opposed to Nima directly, or enemies. The weirdest system that was ever devised was not a king high priestess in general, but a two king system. That was William and Guinevere. They were pretty good until the whole Cassandra incident, which you'd rather not bring up. So there's a little bit of a diversity with how they were done. Some of Alexander's kids left the scene entirely. She honestly didn't really pay much attention to the people who weren't directly related or relevant to her.
I mean, actually, as much as I'd like to see the old High Priestess King and General format restored, within my time as a deity, I saw many different sort of structures of Wayne. The weirdest one being having two kings. That remembrance and like that, like, unintentional kind of adjustment of like just yeah, they really hated me. So if you think you're worthy of being a king, I'd say do whatever system feels right. Don't feel pressured to do it the way it's always been.
New system for a new era. Different circumstances. I think that would be a good idea. Besides, I gotta follow my heart. Got a lot of brain, but if I don't follow my heart, then it's gonna look like I'm more of a pushover than I want to be. Do not anything else. Do, like, do, but not anything else. I think it's a play on words of do, don't say. So do the thing,
Okay.
don't just say you're gonna do it, I think.
She doesn't understand, but she'll pat Roman's head.
The sight line begins to open up into a vast field of crops. It is down by probably 50 feet. It's not level with Yoroshiro's scar. In the distance, it looks like a portion of Yoroshiro's scar was carved out as almost a hill. so that carts can get up and off the main road. Definitely not level. On the side of the road, men and women plowed the fields, harvesting what they could, getting ready to seed it with something else. It was warm enough here that most of these crops grow year-round. A lot of them have to be reseeded. And the careful and pleasant tune of an instrument heard by none of them. We, of course, as human beings, know the instrument is a harmonica and the bagpipes.
Oh, I love it. So lovely. Nima gets the desire to sing along. There's no vocals, probably. But whether it's humming, whether it's singing, whatever she's doing, she's enjoying the vibes. Enjoy those vibes! It's not very good. But, like, you know, she's just enjoying herself. She's having a fun time. She hasn't sung in ever.
It's a hum. There is a vocal that does end up getting picked up by the bagpipe person when he puts them down for a harmonica solo. Which I don't know what the song sounds like, so we're just gonna get a weird, loose interpretation.
Rat-a-tat-tat-tat, rat-a-tat-ta. Itsu no something something batsubo. It's ReZero. Let's go!
Beyond the fellows, beneath the sea, ever calling, ever free. A mutual walk through the desert. Hidden valley are to me. One hero will rise, and a sword beyond my own expectations they have followed. The sword drops for tomorrow. By the time that verse ends up finishing, it's a lot more spaced out than whatever I did. The card is far past, and the sound becomes distant. The bagpipe man picking up his bagpipes again. They simply look like farmers who are on break and just jamming. Whatever they were singing
Like,
about,
they mentioned the desert.
no idea.
I feel like Justin got, like, called away, question mark? Or, yeah, I think I heard, like, a muting of sound. What?
I'm still here.
Oh, sorry, you just went quiet for a second, too.
Oh. My apologies.
I sort of gotta grab more water. I'm probably gonna, like...
Micro intermission. Call it micro intermission.
Micro intermission. Anyone who needs to grab food, water, drinks, snacks, washroom break, do whatever you need to do. I'm gonna BRB quickly.
Our micro intermissions usually appear like 1 hour before the end of the episode. Which I find hilarious. We don't take an intermission in the middle, we take it like 1 hour from the end. We probably plan that better. But I slide over with my wrist. And I stand up. And I say, this is too happy. We're not playing the server right now. This is too happy. When are we all gonna die?
Yeah, I woke up. I prepared for all this trauma. I haven't even gotten a single drip of it yet. Joking.
Like, I don't have any. The best trauma I got is all my friends hated me because I've become God. Like, I mean, yeah. And then Nina's being like, there's still trauma, but it's like wholesome trauma. It's good natured trauma. What we deserve. Happiness.
Wait, where am I supposed to find Tom's body again? It was it was hold on.
No, he's alive. He's not dead.
Dronty, right, and we have a tower right next to it. Okay, that's fine. Where can I find Tom's body?
Yeah, I need to know where I can find Tom's disembodied corpse.
That's gonna be so funny if I go in expecting that he's dead. He's gonna be alive. That's just how it works, right?
That is how it works. Let's do it. Let's just assume. You know, that's what I'm expecting. I'm enjoying today's session too. It's really nice and happy. Unlike we got a few games. We've got a few games going on. I would say in order of ascent, Neon Knights tends to be the happiest game.
I'll fix that.
Okay. Okay. I'll I don't know how to respond to that. Holy Grail War, it's the second happiest game.
Today's just so super chill vibes. Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Usually the most extra, but we're doing pretty solid. Now that you two are back, I have to actually go to the washroom, which I didn't do.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, stuff.
Wait, what happened? Sorry.
Justin's going to the washroom.
That's allowed.
Dude, freaking! Oh my goodness, this is so much. This is so nice and peaceful and soothing to the soul. Oh my golly! Especially because like, do you know what the other game's plotline is?
No.
Literally the item called the Holy Grail is literally causing suffering and will not let people feel happiness.
Huh.
It literally is influencing the events, so people will just suffer and bad things happen.
Gross.
So it's been like no happy, chill, lovely moments like this, because whenever a chill, happy, lovely moment like this happens, immediately it's like, yeah, something bad happens.
Trauma, eh?
It's just so soul healing. Oh, trauma. How you feeling? Are you feeling any better? Less sickly? Are you still sickly?
No, I just sound sick, that's all.
Okay, that's good. It's not a very nice cup. Oh.
Not a nice what?
Sorry, I was responding to Fred. I mean, there's no one in chat. There's no chat. There's no viewers. Wink. I hope I'm not mean. Oh, no. No, the cup's mean. Yeah, the cup is mean. My brain is like slowly. Okay. Yes, Fred, you're really real. You are very, very real. It's okay. I'm sorry. It's fine. TJ's spooky. Well, not always, but sometimes TJ is spookity.
Despair. Wait. Holy Grail. The Dark Star.
Yeah, that's a good summary. The Grail is the Dark Star.
Oh, a Mimi. I see. Now let's introduce ourselves. Honestly, the Dark Star did nothing wrong. It's not responsible for other people's behavior and their actions. It's just shining its light and living its life. It's not like it has intention to corrupt the will of all Dragonborn on Earth.
Yeah.
Not its fault. It's not responsible for other people's actions, just like how I'm not responsible for other people's actions.
The Dark Star is a misunderstood hero. Just like whatchamacallit? Uh, the turtle.
What?
Misunderstood hero right there.
Hmm.
My brain is slightly tired now.
Your brain is slightly tired now. Why is that?
I just so in character. Being brought out is like, oh.
Yeah. What I was like, I was like, you're right. The Dark Star isn't. The Dark Star isn't the bad guy.
It has no
The Dark
intent.
Star is the victim.
Yeah. Being brought out of the of like its natural cycle and crashing to the ground.
Yeah, Dark Star didn't do that. You know who did that?
The bad guys.
The
Marigachi!
bad guy.
Sorry, what?
The bad guy.
The bad guy.
And you know what's good about bad guys? Nothing.
What?
There's a
Marigachi.
song all about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called I Am a Bad Guy.
Bad guy Ayrton.
Despair is not like a bad guy either. He just misunderstood. It's not his fault that he's an omnipotent, augmented creature of people's psyche, or vice versa. It's not his fault. He's the arbiter of despair. He didn't choose to be that manifestation of energy. It's not his fault.
He might be
And
bad
you know-
guy, but he's not bad guy.
And you know what? The Holy Grail is the Holy Grail really bad, or is it just, made by someone who was bad? Come on. Come on. Sorry, I had to drag the two dogs inside. They were looking too happy.
By gods.
I can't have happiness in this household. I actively pursue misery. My name is Aviaire.
Oh my goodness. Aviaire, why? I thought you were Pyraxini. No one knows what that means. No one knows what that means.
No, but they might get the Aviaire thing.
They might get the Aviaire thing, you're right.
All right, is everyone ready to continue?
Yeah. I U-turn to go say hi to Pyho. No, just kidding.
We'll turn around. Well, you know what? Hey, you know that whole thing, that thing we desire to like make Roman into the king? Let's just like,
Kidnap him.
yeah, let's not. Like, Nima doesn't care about that goal. She's going along with the ride.
Sad part is, if we had Varsuvius, this wouldn't have been a rush.
Oh, You want to know the worst part? You say to Nima, hey, you want to ride on a flying carpet? You know what she would say?
What?
Heck yeah, let's go. This sounds fun.
Varsuvius was a crucial member to the team.
I will never.
I'll be
fight.
honest. Is it Varsuvius or Gakuatsu? Which one do you choose?
We lost Varsuvius and got Roman. We lost my previous character and got Nima.
That's not even a question for me.
I know.
The answer is always Varsuvius.
Gaku at who?
Gaku who?
Golanatsu. He's probably a golem the entire time, anyways.
Probably a goal on the entire time.
Although, no one here has ever actually been to the Great Library before. Although it has a bit of history, it would actually be a great pit stop to hang in. But the Great Library is nestled in a small amount of mountains in the center of Hinneka. Large stone walls, very similar to the monastery, however, inside an almost boundless form of recorded knowledge.
Oh my goodness, do we have enough time to make a stop?
No,
Damn it.
we were just over that with Pio.
Yeah, but like, maybe this was different. Maybe we're doing good on time.
Outside, some members train out on an incursion for military instruction. While in windows, the sight line of delicate scholars turn pages only to glance at the passing by cart. The area here is unlike Hinneka for this lush greenness. Here, it is gray. The final resting point of Randamon, a little bit down the mountain. But here, it feels like the safest point in all Bekidorai. There's no idea of politics swaying here, and although the military is here, they seem relaxed. People make this trek when they need to learn something to be better. Now, not anyone can just enter the Great Library. It's not something silly like only royals can enter. You need to pass both a physical and a psychological exam just to be able to be permitted to it. During the Great War, which ended up being civil, this was the final place seen by Lord Trangarn. And Kintsugi has flashes to a memory that's not her own. Of watching that fateful scene in a more light-hearted way. The vision she had of that strange place. She fought alongside people of great importance, and she felt what it was like to have her own skin again. The statue is the final stop. The cart comes to a close. and everyone disembarks. From here, it's walking
Are
until
we
we meet
in-
another cart.
Oh, okay. So we're not in Ed's yet.
No.
Because that would have been really fast.
No, it's been a day.
Uh,
This is a 2-day gig.
So are you saying that we're staying here for the night?
No, we'll be staying at the base of the mountain.
Gosh. Okay. Fine. I'll come back here.
Nima,
Hmm?
am I allowed to expend my key? Your professional doctoral opinion.
Medicine check. Let's see. Good, I am proficient. If I wasn't, I'd be sad and confused. Medicine check. 16.
No more than the base amount that you would normally be able to spend.
No more than the base amount that you'd normally be able to expend.
Which would be...
If you don't know your limits, I'm going to say 2. But it's based off of how strong you are.
Oh. So if I want to push beyond, I could expend 4 right now. All right. Hey, Comps, would you like 4 key?
Been instructed to take 2.
But I'm offering you 4. I listen.
Does Nina know how her? She's not even gonna.
I'll take 3.
4. 4, alright.
Nima's just like deadpan face, just like starts doing something else.
4, or I just expend a key and it just goes to the void. Listen, I've learned my lesson. I could do this. I could handle this. Please.
Do I know how her trait works of like regenerating of ki?
Pretty apparent at this point. She'll
If you
take
go
it.
past the point of regenerating ki, then that is putting your body into overdrive and accessing the points you have, pushing your body past it when it's not fully healed. It is able to expend ki, but to recover, it clearly takes a toll on your body, and if you continue to take a toll on your body, then there will probably be irreparable damage sooner rather than later. So if you give more than 2, make sure you do not regenerate any ki with your ability.
Oh, I can't help it. It kind of just comes back automatically. But that's good to know. And yeah, I'm not gonna expend any more today. For ending the day like that, I just pass 4 key along, and then I'm not gonna push myself further. I'm not gonna jump. There's no stairs, right? I don't know. It's a different story if I see a really large set of stairs, but as long as I don't see that, should be okay.
Especially if those stairs were named after a guy who also, or especially if those stairs were named after a guy who built the stairs, and then later a wall was named after those stairs, despite that guy being dead for 150 years.
There's a dialogue box that appears above Nima that says Nima will remember this.
She's not going to let you waste a key. That's dumb.
All right. Well, are we camping or do we have a little accommodation?
Well, we first have to go downstairs.
Sorry?
Well, first we have to go downstairs to get onto the base of the mountain.
Oh, so there
So
are.
there is a staircase.
I'll hold myself back. hold myself back from using key to traverse the stairs, not hold myself back from using stairs.
You learned from pain. You should know this lesson.
I know. I'm not going to use 46. I just used 4.
D6 is also your martial die. Probably. The staircase is actually much better than the one in Tordal. For the Tordal staircase. Not in Tordal. It wraps back and forth and is about an hour hike down. By the time we reach the bottom, a small encampment on the side of the road is set up. Normally, this encampment is actually used by soldiers training at the Great Library as a sort of sleep in the wilds kind of encampment. Anyone can use it. It's Zokai's Landing. No one knows why it's named that, though. Which is depressing. With a small fire sparked in a huge metal fireplace. And another mysteriously aged driver who's already set up encampment for us. Roman is pulled off to the side in order to be conveyed some information.
Wait, with the
Well, the rest
driver?
of us are the driver, as the rest of us are allowed to set up how we wish.
I'm just gonna pull up behind Roman, full bodyguard. Just silent muscle. I'm not snooping. I'm just his muscle. Until he dismisses me. I dare him to.
I dare him to. Yeah.
He does not dare you to. The royal admission has traveled faster than we had thought. They've already made their way past this point and set up camp on the edge of the sacred land. Your traverse is going to be, instead of heading to Fu, you'll head straight to Ed's. All right. It's faster than normal. Do we know why that is? We do. One of them shares the same blessing as Lady Umu, a retainer of King Barengu. That's not all. The Great Emperor has assigned bodyguards. Bodyguards? What kind of bodyguards? Ones you may be familiar with. He pulls out a small notepad sketching of a traditional Japanese style painting. An armor dressed entirely in blue that hovers off the ground. The Crimson Inferno. Odamu Ryu's killer. Well, I'm glad to see that he's at least well protected. From what Kensugi can pick up on this driver, he's trying to stifle back the fact he's scared. This driver is scared right now. The Great Emperor showed up far sooner than he thought, and perhaps one of the people there had a select choice few words with him. Things are not going to plan, and he's been forced in order to get a new plan going to get us to Eds. This man, he may be a darkness operative, but he's a darkness operative in the form of he's in the darkness. He's not a part of the darkness. He's the network of the darkness. Unlike the other guy who was most assuredly an operative, this guy is a taxi driver who is a heavy supporter of the darkness. As you likely remember, the darkness has a lot of feeler operatives.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to do anything different in your life. You just transfer information.
Volunteer
essentially.
versus employee kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This guy's a volunteer. And he's doing the work of an employee.
I lean down and I whisper into Roman's ear. And I want to make sure the dude in front of us can't hear it, but it just looks like this giant figure whispering down to this child with a hand in front of her mouth. It seems like our friend could use some reassurance from a leader. And then I lean back up. And I look really intimidated.
You want to roll in intimidation?
Well, no, like intimidation, perception, or I not intimidating, but I look really on guard. I guess. Can I do a perception instead?
You don't have to roll in intimidation. It's just do you want?
No,
Okay.
I couldn't. But I will do a perception because I'm a bodyguard. Frick, roll above a 10.
Thank you for delivering this message to us. Yes, we'll follow through to Ed's. What about Fu? I figured you would be a bit more opposed. No, I think you made the right call here. If we go through to Ed's, and the Great Emperor's already there, we're still meeting our expected goal. Not our group that will have to adapt to that. We'll meet an operative in Ed's and make sure everything's transferred over so that the others can adapt. We have to follow a plan only to the point where the plan doesn't work anymore. Line best fit. Get some sleep. We got a bunch of people here who are much more willing and able to do a night watch. And you've been through a lot. All right. Thank you. As he walks away, Roman turns like, was that good? Did I do good? Was that a good line?
I do. I do a very small thumbs up and a smile. A very, not looking at him, but just like a very solemn smile. Like I'm trying to hide how proud I am of him.
Sugi, would you mind helping me practice a little bit?
Nod.
Just before night, Roman is going to practice his psionic blade manifestation. As both Nima and Kamji sit fairly close to the fire. Lived for a very long time. We've seen a lot.
To know if you miss them, the people that you knew in your life, as they passed forward. How did you deal with loss?
I was muted on stream. I'm glad I caught that now.
Oh my word!
Don't worry. No. It was only like recently. So it was only like a few words from Nemo of like, oh, do you want some wisdom? And you, I never really got a chance to mourn. I mean, I was pretty much into the fire immediately after I was about to lose everything. And then I became a god. And then as a god, it was quite different. I lived by my ideals, and I knew I was doing the right thing. And even now, I don't want death to happen. And I want to avoid death, but it's not because it's sad or it makes me feel uneasy. Everything dies. I think at this point she realizes fully that Kamshi does have parts of human inside of her. Because
You
she
make
wouldn't
that
be asked.
assumption. She could make that assumption.
Mainly because, like, a spirit probably wouldn't ask about that. Especially a spirit in spring. I avoided it by not being human. And I still have some ideology. I honestly can only avoid it because I know it's for the best. That although everyone hated me and they disliked me, back then, if I never did the things I did, if I'd never made my mistakes, the world would be most likely being consumed.
I find that no matter what season I'm in, that is one thing I cannot forget. Though I may feel different about it at different times. I do not like being wrong. I don't like forgetting the death of those close to me. When we were still up north, the spirit of winter looked at me and conveyed a message. It was a being of loss and recession. Told me it detected my impurities. Not need to be
Detected
pure.
what? Sorry?
Impurities. I did not need to be pure. That felt insulting.
I like you how you are. You may have human traits within you, but I don't think that's impurities. I sort of yearn to have that humanity back within me sometimes. I do, but I don't at the same time. But most spirits won't actually understand the feelings you'll have.
And I don't know if it's worth having them. My directive, everything I stand for points. They shouldn't be there. My own nature itself requires them to be there. Like a conflict of interest. I feel like they are something I can't let go of, else become a problem myself. But they're something that I can't keep hold of. For as long as I hold them, they will always be burning in my hands.
Hmm. Uh, yeah. Like, from what Nima sees, I think she sees that. The path you've taken up until now. When you were doing it, did you think it was wrong?
No, I don't believe that what I'm doing is wrong. I don't believe that the compulsion that I have to complete it is wrong. It's only natural. Although, there are some instances where my idea of balance does not incorporate with the idea of good. Sometimes good beings can be imbalanced.
Do you want it
Where
to be... Sorry.
where the water becomes muddied. I believe in choosing in balance. I also believe in respecting my friends' wishes. If my friends were to become so far imbalanced that my body would move on its own, then perhaps then I would lose something. I don't know if my being is capable of holding on to that without shattering. Contradiction happens to both a spirit and a man. They break. What happens? My spirit and whatever humanity I have, they both disagree on the outcome. I know for certain my spirit will win. But my heart will shatter.
I never believed that there was any balance to be had between life and death. But you proved me wrong with that. I'm not saying that it is possible to find the thing you want. To balance yourself with, not within life and death, but within your human and spiritual side. But it might actually be somehow possible. Things that seem impossible, I've only recently discovered, may happen. You may never actually be the one to find that balance. You may fall into the depths of your nightmares. But there's always a chance that your struggling could lead fruits to your labors. Even if it's for somebody else in the future.
Perhaps.
I'm gonna roll a wisdom check for Nima if she's encountered any spirits slash half spirit, half human, whatever. It's kind of all blurry. They all seem the same, but like she's starting to get the grasp of like how they're different. 19.
There's many of them that exist. She's sure of that. They exist. Most of the people who are touched by spirits are more human and will backfall on their humanity. The gift in which the Loa of life bestowed is far stronger than most spirits are just in general. The idea of freedom is widespreading, and usually it overpowers. For the sake of Kamji, it doesn't. Kamji is, if anything, while an abnormality, a proof of possibility, but an abnormality. Even still, you can see the parts of that freedom. But it's not so easy to say that there's a perfect balance when the only way to achieve a balance of life and death is to have an imbalance. Something else.
Yeah, and has Nima been able to pick up what Kamshi's like trying like? There's not really an answer that Nima can give. I don't think, but is Nima picking up something I'm not?
Nima thinks that it's probably the best she can deliver at the current moment. While Kamji is capable of talking for a long time, was very willing to put her ideologies out. She is very rarely willing to talk about herself, at least from what Nima's discovered. The fact that she was able to do so here with Nima, it shows just how much they are actually, while they might not be physically related, they are related at the same time. Kamji is going to walk down the path of Nima one day. It may not be the same steps, it may not be the same things that happen, but Nima's convinced Kamji will walk down a very similar path. In a way,
and probably pass on her knowledge and her being to a younger spirit or a younger being. They'll take the best of both of them. Nima may not actually be able to inherit the idea of balance. Life is literally what she's composed of. Kamji may not be able to find a balance between both her humanity and her spiritual side. But Nima's convinced, should they make it, there'll be another who will have these answers. It's less about worrying about making it, and more now worrying about embracing what you have. Nothing good is achieved through brute force.
No. That winter spirit was quite silly, though. Your unities are really beautiful.
That winter spirit was really silly.
Yeah, for like saying that she's corrupted and stuff. She's not the type to call something dumb or wrong. And then I find your uniquities beautiful, as in like, yeah, no, like like this. She actually really likes the Kamji as who she is.
She rests her head on Nima's shoulders.
I return the affection.
The blue
As I-
flower.
Hmm?
A blue flower. It's normally kept in Kamshi's hair drops out.
Okay.
It is actually a part of her hair.
Oh, because that's spring. Spring's falling.
Spring's on its way out the door.
Yeah. I'll hold on to the flower. Just like make sure it's safe. No, like as in like I'm holding on to you, spring, but just
Stay forever.
feels weird to like leave it on the floor.
Roman's been making progress. Wow. The simple sparring isn't a aim to kill kind of thing. Kintsugi holding a log ends up acting almost as a target board for Roman to try and hit. He's not throwing, he's stabbing. His psionic daggers don't really pack too much of a punch, nor do they have much durability. After about 3 swipes, one's gone, and by the time he hits 3, he's breathing very heavily.
I think I'm going to trust NPC Nina to train, but I will input this. It's the end of the day, so might as well spend these resources, baby. I'm going to cast Disguise Self on myself, and then I'm going to Disguise Self as a generic training dummy. Yeah, that is holding a weapon. And then I'm going to channel divinity, invoke duplicity, so that duplicate looks like the training dummy, and then I could just look normal afterwards. And then that way he has more of a realistic target. What was he using originally for a target?
A log.
A log. Okay. And then I guess
Yeah. Misugi was holding a log, like a piece of wood,
Yeah,
and he was to stab it.
good. I'm gonna do this. I'll superimpose it over the log if I could get it to stand in place, maybe, or lean against a wall. Actually, no. We're gonna work with holograms. This way I'll be able to get a different perspective of his technique and his movement, and then making sure that I'm inquiring what it feels like and what he's drawing his power from and how he could pace himself. Because I'm an expert at pacing myself with unlimited resources. But
You
yeah.
know, you said that sarcastically. Nina is actually an expert at pacing.
Me and the
Or
stare.
I should say, pacing herself when she's in a super serious mode.
I still
She's
think
really good at resource management, preparation, setup. She kind of was just having fun.
all right.
For Roman, this is life and death, and she is actually good at it.
Okay. All right. But yeah, I'll NPC mode and see what cooks. And that way maybe her teaching passives will pop off and such. Yeah.
Psionics. Psionics are the mystery of the world. A power that does not really make sense. But when overworked, Roman feels it within his body. First, it starts in his mind, before he eventually exhausts. When he exhausts, he drops to the ground. His style is okay. It's not great. As he swings his little purple hinged dagger. I think someone's upstairs. That's weird. No one should be upstairs.
Oh,
Why does it always sound like someone's breaking into the house?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get caught. Just joking.
Quick, grab Frostmourne.
I got Frostmourne. I got it. Give me a sec.
I have fun. He's gonna murder a burglar. He was gonna be so upset at you. She said 2 when you gave him 4.
No, I gave Kamshi 4.
Oh yeah, you gave Kanji 4. He's not gonna talk to you, you know. You're having the silent treatment and you don't even know it.
You don't know how much I gave.
I imagine every time, like, Kamshi eats the key, it's like 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, You regenerate up to half key, right?
Yeah. And I have a key reduction of 1, so I have a maximum of 2. So I'm always
You have a max of 2?
Sorry? My max is 2. So I always come
So I
back to
literally
1.
guessed right and said only 2.
Yeah.
And then you pushed yourselves. She's... Okay, so she's rightfully mad.
What do you mean? You don't know my kid? That's metagaming.
She was mad, but now I know she's rightfully mad.
It's funny.
She said don't go past your, like, regeneration point.
But that's not fun. I'm a level 3 monk. What's wrong if I spend 4 ki?
Everything! Everything right now! You're gonna kill yourself again.
No, I got hurt because I spent 4. That's because I trusted NPC to jump stairs, and then she did it. She overclocked it, like for like 2 level 20 characters worth of ki. This is different. I'm in
You
control.
survived.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just mindly exerting yourself while you're recovering. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly. Don't you
No, just
know?
no, no.
Rest is for the weak and non-integral for nothing.
Call me weak because I love my rest.
I'm joking. I'm being facetious. Facetious.
All right, I think I'm at my limit.
How many attacks of 3 has he done? Like, what's his like? Nino is counting. I'm hoping.
He taps out 4 daggers, 3 attacks each.
4 dag. Oh, so 12 attacks. Okay. 4 daggers, 3 attacks each. Cool. My son is so cool. He destroyed my carpet still, but you know what?
Did he destroy your carpet, or did some spooky ice thing destroy your carpet?
Hmm.
I don't blame people for psionic release. I blame them for being a scion, but not psionic release.
Conjuring 4 daggers, 3 attacks with each. Next time, we'll go for 5 daggers. And I give him a smug smile.
he he looks up, fully understanding the training's hard, but if the training isn't hard, then he's not going to get anything out of it.
Hmm.
He's got to make up for his entire life of not being able to actually do much.
Join me. I sit down and cross my legs and I close my eyes.
He pulls himself up,
Now we
walks
should.
over beside Kitsugi, sits
Now,
down.
now we will determine if your resource is quick to refill or if it requires more time. Pretty much testing doesn't need a short rest or a long rest. His abilities. And then yada yada. We'll start with a short rest.
Honestly, it would be best for Roman if it was a short rest.
If it was or was not.
Was.
Oh.
With the amount of things that he can do being not that high, he almost needs it to be a short rest.
So I'm getting this sense that he's a hexblade. I'm just joking.
He's a hexblade.
Hexblade.
He's gonna put a hex on you.
Ooh.
Honestly, psionics is weird.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna start phrases of poetry and then sees if he could recall it, and sees if he can finish it. So that we're training that mind as well. Yeah, just fun
You-
stuff.
If you remember, this is actually a piece of training that you do with Roman constantly.
Aww.
This is your guys' training thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This feels less hectic. Honestly, there's a moment in this where Kintsugi is also calming her own mind.
Mm.
Remembering flashes of the past. Remembering Tamsa.
Don't
The
blush.
conversation she had with him. The fact that she's married. She might be married. If that wasn't just a delusional dream, she's actually married to a hunk. A childhood best friend hunk, perfect, pretty boy, who said that everything is going to be fine because they'll just figure it out, even though they're like terrorist and terrorist hunter. How does somebody have that much dedication to anything?
Maybe he was brainwashed. That has to be a possibility. Or what if he really feels that way?
Why is everyone in her life so forgiving? That's just making it so that she has to be so hard. No. Not everyone in her life was so forgiving. Funny enough, the only person who really even punished her beside herself or something, some blue-haired, spunky-ass kid.
Aw. When I think about Odamu Ryo, I'm inspired to take a piece of his training and to make sure that it's not lost on Roman. And this is a way for me to kind of grieve my friend on some level, but more so to secure his legacy. So I would like Nina to think of something to incorporate into Roman's training that is reflective of Ryo's training. Whether that's like physical workout, mental workout, or even cooking. Oh no, Roman's not a good cook.
Don't eat Roman's food.
Sorry?
Don't eat Roman's food.
I mean, no, I think I do. I probably eat it just so that he doesn't feel bad, but um but I think there is always something about the way Odamu chopped vegetables that always just felt very serene and artful. And I think if possible, unless Nina thinks of something like more effective for teaching Roman, I would like us to do that near the end of it. Just, I don't know, just chop some vegetables before we make food. I don't know.
Well, it's not a main course. Cooking requires a lot more than just finesse. It requires all uses of your senses: touch, smell, taste, sound. Sure, people can get by without doing any of that. You're just dealing with taste, making a good meal, making an Odamu meal required such a level of care to the little things and so in touch with your own body and heart. It probably wasn't some gift of the gods of why Odamu was good at cooking. It was just how he used his applicated skill. Applying what seemed like nothing more than a ability to defend or murder something that can grow and heal. Roman wasn't a pale imitation of Ryu. Roman was his apprentice. Wherever he is now, Roman's probably being guided by the impression that Both Ryu and Kakuatsu did. As long as he doesn't shave his head, we'll be fine. That's one thing that Kinsuki really doesn't want Roman to pick up from Gakuatsu. Gakuatsu's head was as smooth as a golem. They're not really smooth, but, you know, they probably could be with enough shine. With the night setting in, and the sound of insects whirring and chirping, small group fireflies start to click and flicker in the air. Luminous bugs. It is a short rest. As lucky as it is for Roman, his powers are short rest. Two of them sit down to eat some steamed leaf bowl. Get a gaze. No. The part of Kintsugi which is Nina plays a memory of the Stars song.
Oh.
She may not be able to hear it right now. She can remember hearing it. With a little hum, she lets out the closest thing she could imagine to the chimes. Not very good. Enough to make Roman laugh a little. Laugh now. Tomorrow, the stars will fall.
Oh!
See.
I think as a core memory for Nina, she looks at just Roman and just how proud of him she is, and then looks at the fireflies. And then I don't know if she ever has the courage in this moment to say it, but like in her head, the narration goes like, no matter how strong and powerful to be, part of me will always see you as my little firefly.
God. Yeah.
I
Why?
get 1,000 hugs from 10,000 Roman as they learn to teach me how to stab 12 times.
What do you
I don't
mean
know
by like
if he could read my
tomorrow the
mind.
stars fall?
Sorry, what? Say again. Say again.
What do you mean
Tomorrow
by
the stars
tomorrow the
fall.
stars fall?
Boy,
I don't know.
Okay.
is that a Nina
Remember
thought?
me
Or
at
just...
least.
That was just the last line. It says, and tomorrow the stars fall.
Is that
Or
a
for
Nina
tomorrow the
thought? Or just like a flavor text?
That's probably a Nina thought.
Oh my gosh, it's the future.
Maybe it's just a meteor storm. Maybe it's the falling of the stars.
Yeah. It's
Mistra's coming back.
yeah,
Maybe we just have to remember Mistra.
Mistra is applying for the position of king from the dead.
Yeah.
Mistra's in her Revenant arc era.
She's gonna kick down the door and be like, I object.
I object.
I thought. Okay, I totally thought that the king selection was happening in Hanasuke.
I did too for some reason.
No.
But we're going to Ed's. Ed's
It was
actually
originally supposed to happen in Limba's fall.
Oh, weird. Interesting.
But I'm convinced that the Great Emperor has just been changing it all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm convinced he's just been changing it to stop people from having the ability to set up.
Oh my goodness! It was actually always gonna be in Limbo's Fall, but somebody else said, "Oh yeah, it's in Heads," and he believed it.
Oh shit! I can't be late.
He shows up and no one's there to like have the official greetings because like no one realized because it's Ed's.
Roman's the only one who shows up.
Well, I guess you got it, kid. Really?
Well, it's by default, I suppose.
The other two are just like, we already trapped his room. We put explosives in the ground. We have like a hired gun in the window. We're set. It's like, yeah, Roman's king. Wait, what? Yeah, no, you guys didn't show up. What, it was an Ed's. Why the hell would it be an Ed's?
Puts anything in Ed's.
Oh,
Everything happens in Ed's. Jeez, we should know this by now. Oh, come on. I hate how it's going to be another thing of like, yeah, the coronation of the king happened in Ed's.
Yeah,
Don't
nice
you mean
try.
Limbus Fall? That's where it should happen. That's capital. Why didn't it? What? God damn
oh,
it.
and this is gonna be the thing. It actually did happen in Ed.
Aren't the intelligence network got gaslit?
You know, that is also a possibility that we're just getting gaslit by our intel network.
Oh my gosh, this is just a taxi driver, guy.
No. The taxi driver saw the Great Emperor.
Yeah, the Great Emperor is coming, and
Yeah,
I
this-
think the Great Emperor was just throwing a bunch of red herrings out,
Yeah.
and then he managed to get somebody who has like them real speed benefits.
Oh gosh.
So I think he was like, "Oh yeah, it's in Hanazuke now. It's in Limbus Fall. It's in Mistro. It's in Tranny. Oh yeah, it's in Borrego. It's in Zorgi. Where's the one place no one's actually going to expect it to be? Honestly,
Eds.
just sit down. Out of every city we've ever had or ever been to, it's Eds or Tokana, and they're in the same. Like they're literally right beside each other. I could see the coronation happening in Tordal.
Oh yeah.
I could see it happening in Tempest Wake. I could see it happening in every other place, but Eds?
Mhm. Liars and cheats. Every one of them in Ed's. Just joking.
Wait, I mean, they invented lying, didn't they?
Oh, we should have asked where the taxi driver was from.
That's why he was so nervous. He was confronted and was like, "Hey, son, where are you from?" Eds.
Oh, I can't trust a single thing this guy says. Oh, my little.
He breathed in lies and he breathed out lies.
He breathes in lies and exhale Eds.
That's more accurate. It's nice.
Hey, don't you
It's
know
not
that
a lie,
the
it's
quote,
true.
that quote you just said, it was started in Ed's?
Yeah, I heard that.
I hear that they invented anime in Eds. It was originally called Edzame, but they changed it to anime
It's
to
amazing.
deal
Just to
with
make it more inclusive, you know?
That's
It's
hilarious.
just more inclusive because they're not ego like they're not they're not prideful. They just they invent stuff. Don't they?
Also, can we talk about, this was a last minute decision. Let's talk about that, because,
What was?
no matter what happened, either he came from, like, this direction, which, we know the train up in our other part of the province is just horrid and trash. He would probably come down Flugami. But if he came from Flugami, why did he take the scenic route?
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't we do it in the nice frickin' spa? I don't understand.
Yeah, they should be back in that place.
That would make sense too. That would make so much sense too. But I think the reason it is Ed's is first off, he took the scenic route no matter which way you look at it. Because even if he came in Trenny way, you just go by the Flugami wall up along the coast, and you take. Okay, have fun.
No, you.
Even if you come in, you take the coastal circle because the coastal circle is the best road in this entire state. which is Trenny to Eds to Drin to Droska. It's literally the best circle in this entire place. It's a port road for most of it. So why even go from Trenny to Grinla up to the Sacred Land to Eds? Why do that? I mean, Mistra to Eds, that makes sense. Don't do that. That's dumb. We had the Earth psychopaths there. But even the road down through Trenny isn't really a good road. Like, Trenico to Trenny, that road kind of sucks. We traveled it. It sucks. We got lucky, but it was a bad road. Like, the only way I can see this happening is this guy actually drove down to Rylan, went through the wall, ended up in Limba's Fall, and went all the way up that way. That's the only way I could see him taking this way to be strategically correct.
Oh, he was already in Limba's Fall and then he changed his mind.
I think that is probably the case. He went to Limba's Fall, was like, let's do it in Eds. Everyone
Yeah,
was
that
probably
makes
like,
sense.
what the hell, why? He's like, I want to do it in Eds. Last minute, he just didn't unpack his cart. Or he did, he just got them back up. And he cruised up to Ed's. And he has a speed boost person with him. So last minute, he changes his destination and he cruises all the way to Ed's as fast as he can. Probably because he realized something's happening. Like, someone's doing something in Limba's Fall. He's throwing it off. He doesn't need to, but he is. He's just screwing with us. I think that's the punchline.
The joke is that someone in the royal family in Cinnamon Phantasm was like, "Oh my gosh, Great Emperor, something. Oh, you trust me now? Oh my gosh, you gotta go to Ed. This is absolutely to die for."
That
Best
was what
place
Gororanka said. Yeah, I'm just I'm having a royal coronation. Hey, you should do it in Ed's. Why? Why not? I mean, you went there once. They made a statue of you. Really? Yeah, let's go to Ed's. Yeah, it sounds cool. Why not? Let's go to Ed's. Either that or half the great empire that he no longer owns is just Limbo's fault. So he has to fight a new place, and he's like, Ed's, sure.
And you want to know
Limbo's
what'd be really
fault,
funny? I know
owned
it's
by a
not gonna
dead man.
happen, but in the one shot that doesn't count. Nima, can you represent Khaldun? Yeah, sure. Congrats, half the kingdom's yours now.
Easy land math. The coronation of Ed's, yeah, Ed's is just barely not in the half that I gave away.
Oh my god, I just realized something. The Great Emperor is from Ed. Do you want to know why? His
Why?
deal was that if his team won, that he'd get half of the glory. He's obsessed with glory because Ed's is obsessed with glory. That makes so much sense.
That's also why he's so two-faced.
Okay, I
He
gotta go.
adapts to those around him because Ed's invented everything.
Thank you for the games, guys. Bye. I gotta go to work.
Bye, B. I'm gonna stream next Friday. There's going to be Friday stuff. Everyone plays D&D around 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Gonna just end. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the lurkers. Thanks for everyone. And peace. Bye, B.